There are so many reasons why EVs are just not a sensible choice for most people right now. If you don't have a garage or driveway to charge overnight, public charging is completely impractical. If you need to travel long distances regularly, forget it. If you need to tow or haul loads or you're running a business, don't bother with an electric truck, just get a diesel. Our cars are often our second largest purchase we make after a house, and so resale value and depreciation are an important factor to consider, especially when cars are often financed. Like with a house, we don't want to be in the position of owing more on the mortgage than the house is worth. But that's likely the situation for many EV owners as used values are plummeting. Later in this video, we'll see how desperate some owners are to shift their EVs in the current second-hand market. If you're after EV and net zero sanity, you've come to the right place. Welcome to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney YouTuber. If you like my videos and content, please be sure to like, share and subscribe, hit the notification bell and drop a comment down below. One of the main problems I believe with EVs as a value proposition is that one of the most expensive elements of the car, the battery, is essentially disposable. Unlike a phone or a tablet where we replace them every few years and it doesn't matter if the battery degrades a bit in that time, with a car it's different. It's a huge capital investment and we wish to preserve its value. With a normal car, you do this by regular servicing, ensuring the service book is stamped, repairing where necessary, but the intrinsic value of the car doesn't change that much. Sure, it gets wear and tear, and any car will depreciate to some extent. But a well-maintained 10-year-old internal combustion engine car is still a viable vehicle. This is not the case with EVs, where its intrinsic value does not remain the same. The battery, which is a significant proportion of the car's initial purchase price, is just a soggy bag of chemical reactions, or should I say a very complex, very expensive soggy bag of chemical reactions. And at some point it will, with 100% certainty, fail or degrade to the extent that its value is reduced to the sum of the scrap metals. I've been trying to think of an analogy. It's like buying a house, but 30% of the purchase price is the potted plants inside. You know they're going to die off eventually, so there's no way you'd pay that proportion of the price for something so short-lived compared to the lifespan of the house. But that's exactly what you're doing with an EV. 30% of the price is a soggy bag of wet chemical reactions. But this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to factors affecting EV depreciation, as we can see. No one wants used EVs, making new ones a tougher sell too. The shift away from cars with dirty combustion engines is running into a new hurdle. Drivers do not want to buy used electric vehicles, EVs, and that is undermining the market for new ones too. In the $1.2 trillion second-hand market, prices for battery-powered cars are falling faster than their combustion engine cousins. Buyers are shunning them due to a lack of subsidies, a desire to wait for better technology, and continued shortfalls in charging infrastructures. A fierce price war sparked by Tesla and competitive Chinese models are further depressing values of new and used cars alike, threatening earnings at rivals like Volkswagen and Stellantis. As most new vehicles in Europe are sold via leases, automakers and dealers which finance these transactions are trying to recover losses from plummeting valuations by raising borrowing costs. That is hitting demand in some European markets that were in the vanguard of the shift away from fossil fuel-powered propulsion. Some of the biggest buyers of new cars, including rental firms, are cutting back on EV adoption because they are losing money on resales, with 60 dropping Tesla models from its fleet. The problems are expected to intensify in 2024, when many of the 1.2 million EVs sold in Europe in 2021 will come off their 3-year leasing contracts and enter the second-hand market. How companies tackle this problem will be key for their bottom lines, consumer confidence and ultimately decarbonisation, including the European Union's plan to phase out sales of new fuel-burning cars by 2035. There isn't used car demand for EVs, said Mr. Matt Harrison, Toyota Motors' Chief Operating Officer in Europe. That's really hurting the cost of ownership story. Warning signs around EVs appeared early in 2023 when Tesla started aggressively cutting prices in an effort to prop up sales. That sparked a price war as other manufacturers followed, eating into profitability for some and pushing up already steep losses for others. Prices for second-hand EVs slumped by around a third in the year through October, compared with a decline of just 5% in the overall used market, according to sales data from iSeeCars.com, a website that ranks cars and dealers. Used EVs take longer to sell than petrol models even after significant price cuts, the group said. Part of the problem is that the industry is handling second-hand EVs for the first time. While combustion engine cars can be quickly valued via their age and mileage, there are no tests in widespread use that determine the quality of a battery, added Mr. Verdigan von Knapp. The battery represents around 30% of an EV's value, and that share is expected to decline in the coming years, according to Bloomberg NEF. Well, maybe at some point that will happen, but if a Hyundai Ioniq 5 battery is 60,000 Canadian dollars and is enough to total the car out after just 1 year, there's a long way to go. To be sure, some EVs are performing well years after their introduction, with less than expected battery degradation, said Mike Tyndall, an analyst at HSBC. Tesla cars can sell quickly in the second-hand market because of the brand's reputation as a technology leader and its regular wireless software updates. But that's not the case here in Australia, where Tesla Model 3s are sitting unsold on car sales for months, even with prices slashed dramatically, a situation which is not helped by Tesla constantly cutting the prices of its new cars, which damages the used market even more. Take a look at some of these listings. 2023 Model 3, 48,000. Pricing insights. 17 price updates since September of last year. Total price decrease 17,000. And it gets worse. 2019 Tesla Model 3, 42,800. See the pricing insights. 10 pricing updates since August 2022. So that's nearly 18 months on the market. $23,700, and this one is the worst, $42,000 for a 2021 Tesla Model 3. It's got over 100,000 kilometers. That's probably why it's going to be difficult to shift. 10 price updates, $27,000, and that's been on the market for over nearly 2.5 years, September 2021. And these are Teslas, supposedly the most desirable of the EVs at the moment. I can't begin to imagine what the market is like for used MGs or BYDs or other cheap Chinese stuff. If you need another reason not to buy an EV right now, this one has to be pretty compelling. Any EV will depreciate far more rapidly than the equivalent internal combustion engine car for a multitude of reasons, and the used market, if you want to move it on, is almost non-existent. Do you really want to put your hard-earned cash into a soggy bag of wet chemical reactions? That's just about it for this video. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you have any tips or stories, you can hit me up on Instagram or by email, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.